2024 picked up where 2023 left off. More carnage and bloodshed in Gaza as Israel continued its brutal war on the coastal enclave. On January 2nd, Israel's killing machine reached Lebanon. An airstrike in the Dahiya neighborhood of Beirut resulted in the assassination of Saleh al-Aruri, deputy leader of Hamas's political bureau and one of the architects of Hamas's attack on Israel. In late March, the 19th Palestinian government was sworn in at Mahmoud Abbas's office in Ramallah, headed by Mohammad Mustafa. In April, Iran launched an attack against Israel around midnight, sending around 170 drones, over 30 cruise missiles, and more than 120 ballistic missiles toward Israel and the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. Iran said the attack came in retaliation for an Israeli strike on its Damascus consulate on the 1st of April. This year saw an alarming spike in violence by illegal Israeli settlers against Palestinians across the occupied West Bank. In early May, Hamas agreed to a ceasefire deal. Israel, however, responded negatively, saying the terms were not acceptable. Days later, the Israeli army invaded Rafah. The summer of 2024 saw several European countries recognize the state of Palestine, reflecting growing international support for Palestinian aspirations. In July, a landmark opinion by the International Court of Justice declared Israel's decades-long occupation of Palestinian land illegal and demanded the evacuation of all existing settlements in the occupied West Bank and East Jerusalem. At the end of the month, Ismail Haniyeh, the political leader of Hamas, was assassinated along with his personal bodyguard in the Iranian capital Tehran by an apparent Israeli attack. In late August, the Israeli army launched an operation in the occupied West Bank, the largest in more than 20 years, killing at least 25 Palestinians, carrying out a massive arrest campaign and targeting the north. In early September, 500,000 Israelis flooded the streets of Tel Aviv, rallying for the release of captives held by Hamas in Gaza, demanding that the government strike a ceasefire deal to secure their release. The mass demonstration marked the largest in Israel's history. Also in September, Israel carried out a daring airstrike, assassinating Hassan Nasrallah, Hezbollah leader in Beirut. Iran launched a major airstrike targeting sites across Israel on October 1st, a move prompted by Haniyeh's killing in Tehran. Israel claimed its air defenses shut down most of the 180 incoming missiles. Few weeks later, Israel retaliated with a series of overnight airstrikes on Iran, hitting what it called military targets. On October 16th, Israeli soldiers killed Hamas's leader Yahya Sinwar in a gunfight in southern Gaza. And last October, Israel's parliament voted to ban the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, UNRWA, the UN agency mandated 75 years ago by the UN General Assembly to serve Palestinians uprooted by Israel in 1948, a move that could have devastating consequences for millions of Palestinians living under Israeli occupation. In November, and after nearly 2 months of intense fighting, Israel and Hezbollah reached a US-brokered ceasefire in a major step toward ending nearly 14 months of fighting. In the same months, judges at the International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for Israel's Prime Minister and former Defense Minister, rejecting Israel's challenges to the court's jurisdiction. In early December, far-right Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich announced the confiscation of nearly 6,000 acres in the occupied West Bank. As the month rolled on, Netanyahu was back in court facing a corruption trial. And 2025 is set to begin in the same way as 2024 had started, with more bloodshed in Gaza and escalating tensions in the region. Mohammad Al-Kassim, TRT World, Occupied East Jerusalem.